This is a grudge match scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, the chosen one, Mitch, Huff. And his opponent already in the ring, Daniel, Eads.
Money, family, and a $10,000 bad bet. That's the root of the descent between Mitch Huff and Daniel Eads.
After this past Saturday night special, Dean Hill arranged for both these men to do battle in the Nightmare Rumble. But was anything settled? I don't think so.
Well, Eads and Huff were like two trains going 100 miles an hour at each other, the same direction on a train track. You just knew there was going to be a moment when those trains were going to collide, and right now, this is it.
Right now, we have a couple of young bucks locking up, trying to settle their grudge, settle their differences. Daniel Eads said that Mitch Huff scammed him, swindled Daniel Eads out of over $10,000 in a poker match. Huff said that's what gambling's all about. That's what poker's all about. Well, right now, this is what a fight is all about.
Of course, on the other side of that, you have the chosen one, Mitch Huff, that would say that Daniel Eads gambled his family's future. Eads lost his house, it got foreclosed on, his car, it got repossessed. Eads says he couldn't buy Christmas gifts for his daughter. It broke his family up. But if you ask me, Eads is just refusing to accept responsibility for his own actions. And look at the elevation on that drop kick, and Eads lands on his feet, but he's showboating, turns his back on his opponent, and the more experienced Mitch Huff goes into the quick roll-up, and Huff with a drop kick of his own.
Each of these men trying to outdo one another. And Mitch Huff is not taking any time. He's already going into the corner and pounding away, but Daniel Eads.
Look, Huff says that he was trying to help Daniel Eads. He offered the idea of playing a few dollars in poker, trying to make some of the money he lost back cover here, but he had no idea that Eads would literally gamble away his family's livelihood. What kind of man puts the money he set aside for his daughter's Christmas on the line in a gambling at the poker table?
Well, I'm not gonna measure a man's character as we have a fight going on in the ring. Clotheslined over the top, and Daniel Eads kicked into the retaining barricade.
Doesn't gambling money for your daughter speak volumes about the character of Daniel Eads?
Well, I don't know the full story. All I know is what's been unfolding these past few weeks. And what I do know is these two are fighting each other with hatred. And with somewhat of a measured attack.
Oh my gosh!
Mitch Huff went for a springboard. Eads caught Huff with a right across the jaw, sending Huff to the floor.
Let's take another look at that one, ladies and gentlemen, and listen to the smack as Eads jacks the jaw of the chosen one. Huff may have lost a tooth, Ron Head.
Just imagine the kind of pain. Imagine the kind of pain inflicted into Mitch Huff, who goes once again into the retaining barricade. Rather switching off, Daniel Eads now sending Mitch Huff. And this grudge match is turning into an ugly fight on the floor.
Going back to the Nightmare Rumble, we knew that Eads and Huff would enter back-to-back. It was Eads who came in number 8, I believe, if memory serves correctly. Huff came in number 9, and they would eliminate each other. Each taking away their opponent's opportunity to become #1 contender.
With the measured springboard attack, followed up.
6'5", 265, and very fluid in the ring, but certainly a cocky and mean streak from Daniel Eads.
You gotta wonder, what was that poker match like? What was that game all about?
Cover here, the leg is hooked and the chosen one's out in 2.
Were they drinking beer? Were they inebriated?
Your guess is as good as mine, Ron Head. But at some point, the bottom line, I don't need to know if they had libations and whether they had whiskey or bourbon or vodka or beer at the table. All I need to know is that at some point in time, Daniel Eads went all in, and ever since, he's been using Mitch Huff as a scapegoat.
And what a short arm clothesline. What a massive attack by Daniel Eads.
Cover here, cover here. Eads literally wrestling with his poor decisions that he's blamed on the chosen one, Mitch Huff.
And a little bit of ground and pound by Daniel Eads. But he's got to be wondering, what's it going to take to put away Mitch Huff? Daniel Eads has been hitting Mitch Huff for these last several moments. Oh, and there's an insulting slap. An insulting slap to the face of Mitch Huff. Daniel Eads now with his own version of a standing vertical suplex.
And that knee goes right into the spine of the chosen one, Mitch Huff, into the rear chin lock as Eads begins to crank back.
Is Daniel Eads having flashbacks to that poker game?
Certainly to the anger, to the rage that he felt.
What it must have been like to not be able to buy his family Christmas presents.
When his family fortunes were gone.
Did he have to resort to swiping an EBT card and listen to the fans?
And the OVW faithful began to chant, "Let's go Mitch, let's go Mitch." The proverbial 12th man trying to will the chosen one back up to a vertical base.
This is where watching on TV does not do it justice to being in the Davis Arena live. It's so deafening in here.
Misses with the clothesline, but Huff comes back with a forearm shot.
Make that 2 forearms.
Huff begins to rally now.
It's literally so loud in here, the desk is trembling.
Stinger splash in the turnbuckle. Huff hits the far side rope, follows it up, stopped in his tracks by Eads. Eads into the cover. Both legs are hooked here, but Huff is out in 2.
But Mitch Huff looks like he's in a lot of trouble. Looks like Mitch Huff is in a lot of pain. But Daniel Eads looks like he's getting a little bit more frustrated. Pain and frustration equals danger.
Eads just said he's gonna give it back now. I wonder if Eads think he's literally going to beat Huff physically into paying back $10,000. But whatever plan Eads just had, it just went out the window with the super kick.
Daniel Eads eats an athlete's foot. Daniel Eads and Mitch Huff both down. This grudge match.
Huff has been on the receiving end of so much punishment. That was a desperation, all instincts maneuver, and there was too much taken away earlier in the match for Huff to be able to capitalize. Both men down now. Referee beginning to lay in the count. He's up to 4.
The hatred of both these men have for one of another, spilling into this main event, spilling into this grudge match, and the fans are feeling the emotion. The fans are literally on the edges of their seats. Daniel Eads up to his knees, Mitch Huff trying to get up as well.
The story between Eads and Huff is like a pot of water on high on the stove, just waiting to boil, and a blatant low blow right in front of the referee's face.
Your winner as a result of a disqualification, Mitch Huff.
And a super kick of his own.
Mitch Huff was hit with his own finisher in insulting fashion. Insulting fashion. Daniel Eads with a smile, a cocky, arrogant sneer. Daniel Eads saying, "You took something of mine," and said to Mitch Huff, "I'll take something of yours."
The arrogance of Daniel Eads here is astonishing.
And the hatred.
And if you just ask me, you just ratchet up the animosity between Eads and Huff. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget next week we have 2 title matches for you. Rump Thump, Big John, the television title, and the young lion, Tyler Matrix, gets a shot at wrestling's rock star Ryan Howe. For Ron Ed, I'm Gilbert Corsi saying we're out of time, everybody. We'll see you next week.